Hello and welcome back to another JayRock video. So we're coming up nearly 3 years since we did our last video, and so much has changed in the company. JayRock has went from lawn care and gardening to JayRock Grounds Maintenance Limited, and since then we've grew as a team from essentially myself to a team of 6, 3 being on PAYE and 2 of them being subcontractors. So that's where we're kind of at now, and I just think the ins and outs of the company's changed so much that I just want to put some more content out there with a bit of an update about how we're getting on as a company. So this video will be a compilation of everything that we're doing this week, and this will be a week-long vlog. We are a grounds maintenance company that runs in Morrisshire, and we cover both domestic and commercial elements of grounds maintenance. Anything grounds maintenance related, we pretty much do. We've been working the last 5 years to sort of build that. Go on, Doug, and say hello. No. Pure refusal. Ah, that's our Type 1 getting delivered for the distillery. Right in the middle. Doesn't look like 8 ton, does it?
So that's what we'll be doing today.
Yeah, busy. Yeah, go for it, mate. Any issues, you just let me know. We'll get it sorted. Yeah, will do. Take care, mate. The reason why it feels so rushed today is just back from a week's leave, and it's always just trying to get back into the swing of things. And every Monday what we do is a team meeting where we get in the office, sit down, talk about what's in for the week ahead, what we got going on, what we can foresee happening, what changes might be, what the issues are, health and safety stuff, and then we run that through before leaving on a morning, or pretty much dispatch to different sites. You got a helmet for biomass?
I've got a helmet, yeah.
Who's that? Tom's.
That's
So that's how we're roughly working at as a team, is coming on the Monday mornings, sort of what we're doing for the week, and then we dispatch to different areas. Glen Grant Distillery, that one of the teams is on today, we visit there 2 times a week with essentially anywhere between 3 and 5 guys, sometimes 6 if we've got like a project on. At the moment the guys are installing or the widening a current path, it gets really swampy, so we're getting Type 1 put in today that you've just seen on that little clip of Duncan's phone, and then we're putting membrane in and barking. We're kind of at the back end of that project now, so I'm not going to be there probably on site until next week. So for now it'll just be fun taking you wherever I go. Team's on too keen on being on camera at the moment, which is absolutely fine. Can't expect them to, but the whole thing is me just trying to show you the running in and out of the company from my point of view, essentially. Right, so that's us back in on the first site that we've got to. We're in a place called Craigellachie, and essentially when we first get here we need to sign in, get the permit sorted for our work, which is us essentially just signing on to our RAMs. So for each commercial site we need to sign on to our RAMs, which we've made for general grounds maintenance, and then we have separate ones for things like jobs. Let's say we did like a swale improvement here, or if we're doing tree work, then that would be a specific set of RAMs that then follow up, so they go hand in hand with the generic risk assessment. But essentially what we do on this site is, like there, Dale's away now, she's starting to do all of the strimming, the sides, everything else, and then I'm going to go into mowing. We did used to use a Ferris, it's a bigger mower, comfier ride on areas like this, but they've essentially, all the soil you can see down there, they have ripped up and put in new pipelines, so there is things like rocks and just other things that get in the way on this site. So we are using a Skag, they've got the older blades on, so I don't mind if they get hit a little bit more. Right, that's just finished on that one. So that was the biomass site that we look after. We do that every 2 weeks, like I was saying, and then into winter maintenance we do it once a month. So that normally comes into play as of about November time, and that can be a range of different jobs. Pretty much the last 2 years we've just been on ghost maintenance, removing a lot of ghosts from fence lines, just so if any maintenance did need to come to the fences, we could get to them no problem. So anyway, that's just done now. Things are definitely slowing down with the sites that we're going to. We've already, last week I think, had to cancel 3 or 4 different sites where we've turned up and it's just not been sufficient growth. And a lot of the time we can't justify charging clients when there's not enough there, essentially. Sometimes if it is peak growing season and that happens, then we may still bill the visit if we've been there or had to travel quite a distance to get there and we've not been notified of the insufficient growth. It just really depends. We're then going to head over to a next property that is roughly 5 miles away. So we're in the next site here. What we've got is a domestic grass cut, and we essentially look after everything up the lane. We've got top platform, bank, and then it all goes into this side. I am actually just about to shoot off, which I'll explain in a second. Dale's going to carry this one through and essentially cut all the rest. So we have everything from the sort of side of the house down here, and then what we call sort of the rough area. So it's not really kept lawn, it's more of a paddock, but it is all the bottom growth end, and that's just basically a hill that drops off. So you got to watch, there's a lot of protruding stones, and this always grows like stink throughout the season. But we just keep on top of it, and again this runs to roughly end of October. But look at that view, absolutely stunning. But essentially what's happening is I need to shoot off now for a distillery payment. We look after 3 distilleries or 3 distillery sites and 2 different companies. So one is, I was on holiday last week. The team has carried out a visit on each one of them sites last week. Now, if in these terms for commercial properties, the payment terms can be, they can range massively essentially. But what it is, if we were to do backs transfer, so where I just invoice normally, as I do anyway, but they pay by backs payment, then it takes 90 days from the point of invoice. And depending if you hit the pay run or not, it can then take an extra 30 days on top. So from a grass cut that you do in March, you could technically not expect payment for that until July time. So it's just not something that's practical to do. I'll just quickly pull over here. It's not practical to do. Take that off there. So what we do is card readers. So we don't do this for many clients, and you do have to pay a charge. I think it's 2%, 1.7%, something like that per transaction. But in my head, it's worth eating that cost and being paid usually within, it normally comes through in 48 to 72 hours, depending on what sort of day you put it on, or if there's a bank holiday or anything like that. So we use SumUp card readers, and they're fantastic. I think it was like 100 quid to get, and yeah, like I say, we pay that 1.7% charge. Right, so I've just came to the other distillery and had a conversation with the startup manager that is here about some possible additional work. Just going to have a quick look at it now. This whole area that's been excavated is going to become a wild garden as such, nature garden. So what they're looking for is, so that's all the ground that's been excavated out. They want this area prepped, seeded paths going through the site, and wildflower sort of circles and segments throughout the whole thing, and within that bank as well. Coming in with tractor stone barrier, which we own the tractor, we don't own the stone barrier, is getting that and re-prepping the ground. It's very rocky down there, and then seeding in separate locations. So it'll be a nice little project if it comes along, and it's just another thing to add to the boat to show that we can do with the ground prep and sort of the installation of these wild areas, which seems to be getting a lot more popular as the years go by. People have, or sites have, certain standards to meet, or they want the sort of biodiversity within the sites as well. So yeah, definitely worth coming in, getting the catch up with the site manager, and seeing what else we can kind of, essentially, what else we can help with while we're already on the sites and as an extra. So yeah, always advise it, talk to your clients, talk to the managers, see if there's any improvements. Because they might not even know that you do these sort of things, so they'll then outsource it. So always have them conversations, talk about what you can do, what you can't do, and always try and upsell wherever you can, because it helps everyone. So yeah, good little good visit in. Glad we did it. And that's us finished on this one. So Dale's been in, cut all these areas, trimmed them. I've just came back in, trimmed out the bank. Like I say, Dale's cut everything else. She's just blown off some of the debris from the top lawn. Although there's not much, we try and leave these mulch cuts as tidy as we physically can. What's always good as well is to do a little walkthrough, which I don't always get to do on each site, but it is good to do so. So this one, last year, had to be cutting 4 inches pretty much every single time because it got so thick. You can see how much messier it is. Hopefully the camera picks that up. But literally, it's just keeping this one tamed. She says it was quite thick down this area. But you can see you get to certain areas and it is just complete mat through. Super thick grass. So this one is a rougher one on the tidier lawns. People's wanting a bit tidier finish with the mulch. That's it. We'll go over it a couple of times and then, like what Dale's doing now, giving it a blow over just to disperse any debris that may be lying on top of the lawns, which makes a hell of a difference, to be fair. Sometimes it's just like you've just cut and collected it. Right, so next site we have here is a domestic site in Elgin. So we're back through now. We've currently got about 2 sites left to go for the Monday here. Team's getting on quite well at the distillery. They've got about 6-ish ton down on the pathway, so they're making good progress. But for us here, we actually missed this visit 2 weeks ago for insufficient growth. And this is kind of what we're with now. So because we missed the last one, we're going to do a cut on this one, just to tidy up the weeds that are coming through. And there's the odd little patches like there, and up on this one here, that is getting hairy. So purely for these ones, we're going to go through. But there's bottom lawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lawns. There's one at the back of the house as well for this property. So we'll get amongst that now and yeah, get them cut. To be honest, I think this might be the last cut of the year, or definitely the second last cut. I can't imagine there's going to be much more growth before we hit the end of the season. That's just how it is. What happens when it's been under so much stress this year. We'll be actually dealing with. So we're going to be doing that all along the left hand side, removing any shrubbery, trees, any overgrowth that's going on the cliff side, and on the right side, the side closest to us, we'll be clearing the whole verge line from here to the very far end. So as soon as you hit the bridge, all PPE on, good to go. Right, so we are on this Craigelkey Bridge project. This is going to be a 2-day job that we're on. As you've seen in that little clip there, there's 4 of us on the job today, and then there's going to be 6 of us here tomorrow. Essentially what we're doing is, this is it's a walking path for the local community, and it's going to get cleared through. It's too much for the volunteers to do, so they've brought in ourselves. So we're doing little things like on this side, there's a lot of dead trees. There's about 7 small dead trees in this area. I mean, you've got 2 just on the front there, as you can see. So we'll be removing dead trees there throughout there, doing a bit of a thin out, the whole area will be getting trimmed out as well and just tidied up. Anything on this left hand side, anything that's coming over the wall is going to be taken down to sort of wall level throughout the whole site. We're also going to be taking the moss up from as much of this area as we can using the Terrazza Weedy Pro, and essentially just trying to get everything tidied up that we can do within 2 days. So there's a lot, like on this right hand side here, everything's going to be going back to the cliffside, and that's going to be anything up to 2 meters high is what our scope of works has been for it. So we're not going to be disturbing the sort of rock side at all, but we're going to be getting right in there and taking everything back to stump, and really just keeping it to a point where it only needs done every, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, rather than it just being encroaching onto the path for the passers-by as it is at the moment. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. But we're right on the River Spey, so it's a lovely little area to be working in for the next couple of days. Right, hello, that is us finished for lunch. So currently we've got, I'd say we're about halfway. We've got everything cut down on the left and right into sort of rough piles, obviously, all the way through now, up until 2 meters up the way, all the way along to roughly where you can see the helmet now. So we've got about another, I don't know, 55–60%, something like that, to try and get done on this area, which has come along really well. Guys are working tremendously hard as well as always, which is great to see, which is going to really clean up this area just from a bit of hard graft. But what we did find is that there's several wasps' nests in the ivy here and a couple of the clumps of brush, so we're just gonna have to be careful on them areas. Tom's already been stung on the neck, so that is one of them, it happens. But we're going to stop for lunch now, making good progress. Tomorrow we've got an 8-inch chipper coming through, tracked, which we're essentially just going to bring up down this line, and everything we'll just put in odd piles along the way and just chip straight over the side. Can't really see it here, but this basically drops into a wood line off the bank before you get to the water, and they're happy for all green waste just to go straight into the wood line there. So that's where we're at for now. We'll keep pushing on, but it's good progress. We've had a member of the guys that contracted us in come down, have a look at it, says what a difference already. So it's great news. It's always nice when clients are happy. So yeah, we're making good headway with it. is Wednesday and we are back on this Craigellachie Old Bridge site. So apologies for the last couple of days of content. It's been a little bit of turn and fro with audio and quality. I'm trying to get the camera sorted and the mic sorted, and the mic keeps going in and out, as you would have noticed from yesterday's footage. So apologies for that, but we are working on it. So we're going to be getting, as you can see in the background, we're going to be getting started with the wood chipper, and we're going to basically just run our way the whole way along here and start getting chipped up from everything that we've done yesterday and cleared out. So you can see already it's a lot more clearer down this far side, and how much we kind of got done towards the back end of yesterday. Waste is just in piles, like I say, all the way along, so we can just run the chipper up this inside and essentially get it all cleared up. So it's good headway. This is where the wasps are, so we're just taking a wide berth around this area for now. They start to pick up again, but it's coming together essentially. So we're going to crack on today. I'll get a bit more footage. It's going to be a bit of a rinse and repeat, same as yesterday to be fair. So I'll try and cherry pick the content that I take. But we've got the four of us on this side, and then we've got Dale and Simon over the other side, which is essentially inside the town or the village, and they're strimming back a bank that is fairly overgrown as well. So that's what we're on for today. We're going to crack on. There's not too much to talk about on this one, so again I'll just get snippets of content where I can. Introduce yourself.
Hi YouTube, I'm Ed. I'm the Health and Safety Manager at JayRock. I've been with JayRock now for 2.5 years. Personally, I've known Sam for going on 15 years now, served together in the military. Yeah, loving the job, good work, hard work, but good work, and yeah, just great to be outside and you get to see some stunning sights like this. And yeah, work with great like-minded people. But yeah, look forward to hearing more from me on the channel, and yeah, peace out.
No, I should have got it, shouldn't I? Nah, just saying. So that's just finished this point here where we have, to be honest, the 8-inch chipper is a bit of an overkill, but the 6-inch is still being repaired. So we've been left with getting the 8-inch in. When it came to yesterday, we just pretty much thought, for that pile there, that took maybe 15 minutes to chip between 3 of us passing it in and getting it chipped through. What would it took in our 4-inch one?
Oh, a couple of hours, like.
Yeah.
And then pushing it, feeding it.
Yeah. It's hard work, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So at the minute we've got the Forest Master 4-inch that you would have probably seen in some previous videos if you've went that far back. But it's good on little gardens and there's little stuff, but as soon as you get anything like that, like mass wastage, I mean, we've wasted loads of time, haven't we? Like,
yeah.
Going through that.
It's also the damage that it does to the machine, you know.
Yeah.
The machine's not built for it, is it?
No,
it's
not that quantity.
It says 4, but realistically 2 to 3.
Yeah.
If it's new.
I would say,
if it's old.
Yeah.
You know, it's even harder to get through.
It is, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at with it. So we brung the 4-inch yesterday with full hopes of kind of using it, but it's just not. As soon as we seen the pile growing and then how much left we had to go down the whole length, really, it just wasn't worth sort of plucking away. It would have been one person the whole day pretty much trying to chip away with that. So no, it's good having that. And now, so we've invested in a 6-inch chipper that hasn't arrived yet, but we need to go collect that probably from Glasgow at some point. But that'll be a Timberwolf that we're going to add into the fleet at some stage, just so on jobs like this we can get them in, because it's been a pain point for like a year and a half maybe. We've been saying we should have one.
It slows jobs down, and it's just not the most productive use of time, is it? That's the thing. And
not at all.
I think it'd be a game changer for this winter.
Oh yeah, especially we've got quite a bit of tree work lined up. I was on about Glen Grant yesterday or the day before, and for the amount of tree work we've got to do up there, you know, just having something in the fleet that we can kind of get over will be
Yeah.
the world of difference. So yeah, that's the plan. But we're just kind of plugging away one machine at a time, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, but
Start working our way down the track and clear as we go. Isn't it,
Yeah.
next, I think.
happy
The
days.
next one.
Let's go on with it. Okay, so that is us stopped for lunchtime. The whole area is looking so much better. So we're making very good progress. We're pretty much in the realms of debris removal now, and just final bits of cleaning up. We've still got to put the weedy pro over, but other than that, we're really kind of getting there. We've done more than break the back of it. I also just want to say a massive thank you to McGregor's Industrial Supplies in Elgin. They've also got Inverness branch that is fairly close to us. We got that higher in on the 8-inch chipper, which made the world of difference, you know, with no fuss at all, more or less turned around straight away, and we managed to get everything done within half a day. So that's all the chipping that we needed to do done, and we couldn't have done that without that 8-inch chipper. So big thank you to them. They always square us away and get the machines to us, plus they hire out so many, so it's just fantastic. Yeah, big thank you to them. We have cleared back. We're now up onto the little bank side, the verge almost. That's all cleared through, everything back, so now nothing is within eye level that could affect anyone walking down. This obviously still needs to be blown all the way to the end and waste removed on this side as well. So we are, like I say, we're getting there. And it's just one of them, one little thing at a time, and it all comes together. But the teams work fantastic. Ed and Dunks has just dropped off the chipper now back to McGregor's, and the rest of the team is now on the lunch break. So good headway. We'll try and get an update of what the bank's like on the other side. Let's see if we can get some footage of that as well. That is us just finishing off now. It's been really good work. Pretty much the whole team likes a good knockdown tidy up, and doing it in a place like this where it is such a beautiful area, such a beautiful place, it's just made it even better. So we've all managed to get stuck into it, and everyone's really enjoyed the day, so I will speak on everyone's behalf there. But we're now on the final push of pretty much blowing down the whole site, and I'll do a full sort of where we're at, how everything looks. Oh, another day. Now on Thursday, and we are splitting out into 2 teams. So that's everyone just arriving. 7:30's the time to get into work. And yeah, see what today's got for us. We'll do it with it on. Still on 3 bars. It's just whether it was at 70% or 100%, I don't know. You quite happy running with today? Just, I think you'll get the Type 1 down probably sooner than the end of play, I imagine.
Start whacking it.
Yeah.
Start building.
But that's what you can. If you've got too many hands for the job, then one person just starts whackering from the top. Go for that. Get the whacker plating in, and then you take the lead with the edging, if you want to focus on that.
Take the wee echo, if that's all right.
Yeah. Take the what? The wee echo. Yeah. Doing your cuts. That's fine. Are you still taking the circular, so? Oh, you've already took it.
Have you got all the screws in that? And the impact driver and
Yeah.
the base?
Yeah, we'll be good. But if you need us for anything, then just give us a shout. Right, so that is the team gone off to Grounds Distillery, so they're going to crack on with a path today. Again, I know I haven't showed you, but when I go there next week, I'll pull that out on camera. Me and Ed are off to a place in Cromdale, which is an estate that gets the ride-on collector put on. So we've been looking after that for just this season. But we are there together today because we're going to go do a quote afterwards. Wherever possible now, me and Ed's trying not to be in the same run, just because it's good to have a manager with the second half of the team, and it just makes sense. But in this case, with Ed being the health and safety manager, it's good for us to go to sites first time together, and then Ed can basically do his dynamic rams while we're walking around. And then when we pitch the idea for the quote, or when we pitch a quote to the client, we already know all the health and safety stuff, and the rams can just follow in behind it if it gets accepted. So that's what we're on today. I'll get some footage when we get there of a little walk around of the property. Right, we've arrived to our first site here, and it's a beauty, to be fair. Essentially, we do a right-on grass cut of everywhere in front that you can see, around the pond, down the sides of the fence lines, around all the trees, and then there's a grass stump area down at the back. And then at the back of the house, we've got pretty much the same again. We've got a natural line where we stop, and then we carry it all the way around the back here. It's blowing an absolute gale today. I don't know if the mic is picking that up or not. If it is, I apologise. But I'm not too sure how much footage I'll get of today's cut. But yeah, essentially just a grass cut for an old estate with some stunning locations. And that's about it. So we'll get amongst that now. Me and Ed on this one today. This usually takes about 2.5 to 3 and a bit hours, depending on how much growth. But everything's slowing down a bit more now. So yeah, aiming off for about that 2.5 hour mark. Get it done, move on to our consultation, and we'll see where that leaves us for the day. That's us just finished off there. Really windy. It was, well, I didn't even know it was meant to be like this, but we've got kind of gusts of up to 60-mile-an-hour winds today, so that's really kind of playing havoc. I'll take all the footage out of this, but the camera fell over multiple times, so we just got what I can with it. But everything's slowing down that much. We only got 2.5 baskets, what's about 650 litres a basket, so we still got a fair amount off for the size of place that it is, but nothing compared to what this place was. I'll stick an over image of now of what it was like when we turned up to it, which was essentially a 2-day job to, well, 2.5-day job to try and get it cut down, because it hadn't been cut for the first sort of 2-3 months of the season, and it was fairly wild here, so it took ages to get it kind of under control within them 2 or 3 days, and we basically just maintained it every 2 weeks after that. So it's a nice one to have. It's a bit far from where we usually work. We're kind of nearly an hour to get to this location. Not that we're pushing work out this way, but you know, if we pick up more things around this area, it would make it a lot more worthwhile. How do you find it, Ed?
Yeah, so I was on Strimmer today. As Sam's already mentioned, it was super windy, but yeah, overall the site's a nice one. The Strim, it's a tricky one in that you can't get your tight finish. There's a lot of mossy growth and a lot of fence lines and gravel paths that you've got to kind of work around. So you have to almost hover the Strimmer, keep it sort of just above the ground to get that nicer finish, and then blend it in with the height of cut from the Izeki. Yeah, usual cut's about what, 3 hours?
Yeah,
got around in 2:15 today, so
good
you know, growth slowing down, but it was good.
Yeah,
I think it went well.
it just shows it's like one of them. You can have the same site and it can be 2 completely different ways to skin the cut, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's what you do for one thing. You've got to be dynamic in every approach whenever you go to a new site, or even just a different site. Like Ed was saying there, the growth on this one, it grows well. There's a lot of grass in the lawns.
Yeah.
But it's just, you've got this sort of 2, 3, some places like 4 inches of moss and thatch, don't you? So if you do try and bed the Strimmer down, you just get caught up in it. It slows down the RPMs, and you get a rougher finish. So it's one of them. You just got, like I said, be dynamic and play fairly differently. But that's just getting ready now. We're going to head off to our quote that we've got roughly 20 minutes from here. See what that's all about. Speak to the point of contact that we have there today, and just find out, 1, if it's for us, but 2, if we do want it, you know, how we can help them and what we can offer them compared to the scope of works that they've kind of released in advance. So we're on to that now. That would be a commercial site, like I say, in 2 minds of it at the moment, but we'll take a look at it and see if it's for us. So that's us back in now. We went out to do that quote. It wasn't worth filming at all, to be honest. It's about an hour and a half trip there from where we're based, so it would have been a 3-hour round trip if we took it on. Having a look at it and walking through it with Ed and having a chat about it, 3-hour round trip, and to be honest, the scope of works doesn't seem like there's enough on it to justify that type of visit. The reason why we took on the quote in the first place is it was only 20 minutes from where the location was this morning, and if it was a big enough site, it would have been worth that extra 20 minutes distance. But in turn, although it could be commercial, I don't think it's the right one for us. It's probably not big enough for us to justify actually visiting there. So that's us back in anyway. We got in, we stripped down the trailer, and we headed off to do domestics. Again, not worth videoing really. Out of the 6 domestic properties that we would have had to do at the back end of that, we cut 2, cancelled 2 because of lack of growth, and we moved 2 into tomorrow. So, and out of them 2 tomorrow, I think at least 1 of them will be cancelled as well, again, just through lack of growth. So it's one of them. All I would say with it is, if you've got something like that, or you're going through this period where growth is slowing down very quickly, then have something in the back pocket, whether it's some work in case you have cancellations, whether it's a retaining fee, so that you still have a charge on with a client for almost being on call to do that property. Just something in there where you're back in your own business, essentially. Luckily for us, at the moment, we're still very busy, and we've still got enough work coming through where I would prefer the clients to keep that visit's money, and we just sort it out elsewhere. Like I say, we're in that fortunate position at the moment. But yeah, that's it for today. That's us all sorted. The team's just heading back from Glen Grant now. They've been pretty busy moving that Type 1, getting the final bit of installation in and getting it whacked in up to level. So now that's ready for the bulk. Yeah, that's us. So they're on their way back now. I'll help them get unloaded, and then that will be us for the day. Good morning. We are on Friday, and our first stop today is a domestic property where we get all the team in usually. Whoever's available to kind of get started on this. There's a lot of strimming, and it takes kind of a good bit of time to get completed. But we've essentially got a large lawn down the bottom. We've got a bank up on the right hand side. We've got this main sort of area, and then there's a formal lawn on the top just in front of the house. Just got to be careful on this one because the mowers, especially with it being the 0 turn, slip quite a lot on this area of the bank. And then coming out to the front of the property, we've got a verge either side as well, which gets cut, being that left down there, and same again up on the right here. We come here every 2 weeks, and pretty much, yeah, standard grass cut. This runs again from March to the end of October usually, or whenever it starts to stop growing. And that's pretty much how long's a piece of string for a lot of these lawns. But this one, actually, there's quite a bit of growth in the last 2 weeks, considering we have put a selective herbicide down as well. So we're starting to get a bit of kill off within a lot of these weeds as well, which is good to see, because often when the growth does slow down, it is still looking pretty long just because of the weeds. So we're going to start trying to eradicate them now, and hopefully it being a bit of a better spot for next year. Right, that is us finished there. Took about an hour and a half-ish, nearly 2 hours, which is good going. Team's done really well. Peak season, this probably can easily take sort of 3 hours with 4 people. We've been here with 6 people before, and it's taken still a good couple hours. So it really depends how it's growing and what time of year. But this sort of end result, we get the mulcher on everything. We get all these edges vertical edged back into the curb line, so they're nice and clean. And this is sort of somewhat standard for any property really, but especially domestics. We try and keep it as clean as we can, get all curb sides pushed back. The whole site gets good blow down at the end, and it makes the world of difference. Because the way that we run things and the way that the routes sort of change, we're constantly swapping around bits of kit. So now that although the Ranger brung the trailer, we're now dropping that off with Tom and Duncan. They're gonna hook that up to the Movano, take that through, and they're going to a manor house up near Forest, and then we're going to head back, me and Ed, go collect the 14x6 trailer and the Izeki, and then we've got a cut and collect, and it's essentially quite a large property, a good 3-4 acres that needs trimmed out and some of these collected. So we'll see how that gets us in today. We would normally take the transit tipper with us, but that's in for a service this morning because we need to take waste away from this property. So once when we get there, we'll evaluate, see how things are, and essentially see what our options are. That's our plan now, so we're going to head back into Elgin, swap over and get going with the next one. Right, we're at our next job here, and it is a domestic property, fairly large in size. We have the whole bowl to trim and grass cut, probably pedestrian just because of the banks. We've got more banks and smaller lawns that head up the hill to around the house, which I'm not going to take you up there today. And then we've got essentially a formal lawn that's about an acre down at the bottom of this road, where I'll take you now. But we're a bit short on time, so we're gonna have to get cracked on. I'll see what footage I can get from this today. But like I say, we need to kind of get a move on with it. So it's gonna be a busy day to end of Friday. Had reports of an imposter coming onto our site, so I just need to check it out quickly. Keeps happening, sort of seems to follow us everywhere. Look who it is!
Who's the vlogger now? How's it going?
Not too bad, how are you?
Not bad.
Oh, that's a close-up shot of you there, Ben.
I now know how it feels to have the camera thrown in
Yeah,
your face.
that's exactly what I just said to Ed. I've only just taken it out. Right, that's us just finished. Got back to the yard and workshop. Just going to unload everything. Everything was all right. That took us around 9 man hours, so wasn't too bad. First time we went there was 13 and a half. So yeah, good bit of cut time on that one. Go on. Right, everyone, so this is Tom. Tom, hold that, mate. How's your week been, dude?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty chilled out.
What's a reality of it? What you've been hit with?
Quite
stung?
quite a lot of hard work. Stand, dog poo,
Oh, you're watching your language
stones.
as well.
All in a good week.
But busy enough, eh?
Yeah, good. Nice and busy.
Happy days. And what happened to you? Why are you in joggers?
I got covered with human excrement.
It happens to someone. Okay, and that is us done. That's the team gone home now for the weekend. Friday nipped, a week completed, and it has been actually a really good week. It's been a hard week. We've had a lot going on, but it's been really good. So like I said there, we've done a lot this week, and you know, the team's done amazing to get it through. With things like this, you just can't operate to, you know, whatever level we're on at the moment without a decent team by your side, and everyone comes into their own week in, week out, and just does an amazing job. So honestly, massive thank you to the team. They kind of help this whole sort of machine run as such. But if you've got any comments about this video, about any of the equipment that we've used, whether it's how we assess the risks on site, how we do things with the commercial side of the work, the domestic side, whatever it might be, feel free to put it in a comment below. I'd love to start answering some questions. And yeah, I realize it's been a very long video, so thank you for bearing with us. It's not often that I've ever done this long of a video, so yeah, I'm not too sure whether it's going to go into consistent weekly vlogs or if it's going to go to what frequency. It takes a lot to put these videos together, so, and I'm only just realizing that again after doing it now, how much it takes to do them. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, if you have, I would love to hear it down below. And a massive shout out as well to Jay and to Clay. I'm sure they'll enjoy them shout outs if they watch this video. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hit subscribe, like, and yeah, I'd love to hear from you.